Hey, Supernatural fans. This is kind of a new little update. This week, I was asked to bring an Impala to a Halloween party, and Mary is now gone. She's up in Seattle and stuff, and of course, I'm here in Kansas City, and I thought, well, you know what? Let's pull out the darkness. The darkness had its bumpers taken away up to the chrome shop. So I told the gentleman that he's actually kind of a friend I've known for a while, and I told him, I said, listen, if we get the bumpers back, we'll get them on the car, and we'll try to get this thing put together and up to you. So the bumpers came in, and here they are, all chromed and everything, and they're beautiful. Now the back one, let me come back here. The back one is actually somebody else's bumper, because the chrome shop, they missed a chrome spot right in here. And so I took it up to them, had to drive all the way back to the city, and I said, hey guys, what's going on here? They tried fixing, they're like, we're going to re-chrome this whole thing. So I went back and I was like, I really want to have a car up for the show, and we pulled a bumper off another car that we're doing, and this one that came off, I call the car Brandy. It's a Branson car. Pulled it off, and we just used it. Now you'll notice there's no bumper guards on it. I didn't have time to drill out for the bumper guards, even though we could have put the bumper guards on this car. I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning working on this car, and then the next morning I was back in at 7:30 and started back in on this car so we could get it ready. And this thing literally had like 3 inches of dust all over it. So, and it's still kind of dirty from driving up here and stuff. But she took the crazy thing was, this car had never really been driven. Never. And so to go out on a maiden voyage, which was a little bit over an hour away, I was kind of, I thought, well, I got a cell phone. Something happens, we'll call. I'll get my shop to come back down with the trailer and stuff. We'll pick it up and we'll take it, back to the shop. So we risked it, or I did, and it all worked out. Now, the car has a 350 engine in it. Now I'm going to put this down right here onto the, so I can open up the hood. All right. So the engine's kind of dirty. I didn't have a lot of time to really detail this car out. It was going to be at night, so I wasn't really too concerned about being spotless and clean and stuff. So the engine, 350 engine, and this came out of what, if you go back into the videos, Goldie. And Jeff's engine was originally a 327 in this car, and it was shot. And so my buddy Steven really didn't want a 350 in his car. And he said, I'll just trade him out. And I said, all right. So I traded him out. Now this engine was supposed to have been built by Steven's brother-in-law. And Steven just didn't have a lot of faith in his brother-in-law. He wanted me to originally do it, but at the time his wife, now ex-wife, was dead set on her brother doing it. And basically what we had figured out when I pulled this engine out and kind of tore some of it apart was that this engine was just a motor that they had found and painted it up and said, oh, we rebuilt an engine for you. This engine was not rebuilt. So as I was driving this thing up, I could notice on the rear view mirror, like, it looked like haze coming back, and I was like, what the hell? And come to find out, this thing is blowing oil out of the right side, passenger side exhaust. And it kind of looks like you're crop dusting. So now, is that going to go away? I really, really don't know, Jeff, because this motor is set for quite a while. So now towards the end of the night, or when I was getting up closer to the city, it did not look like it was smoking. But then again, it was also getting a little darker. So I'll have to experiment when I drive this back down to the shop. I'll see if she's blowing oil and stuff like that. So it might be that we just got another bad motor. Now, for everybody that's wondering about this, I felt really bad for Jeff because the engine, his original 327, was no good. My buddy gave him this engine, and I took it out and put it in, and Jeff did not get charged for that. I took care of that because I felt bad, and I always try to stand behind the product and stuff that we're putting out. But it might be, Jeff, I don't know. I'll give you more of an update next week when this car drives back down to the shop. But it was a big hit at the party. Fans, when I pulled in, man, fans come running up and we're taking pictures with it, and stuff, which was really cool to see. And it's a beautiful car. I mean, it really, really is. You got a beauty. It's just, boy, this thing. I also didn't have dash lights, and in the beginning the corner lights didn't work. We played with the wiring a little bit. We got the corner lights to work, and then the rear tail lights back here. Let me come back here. So when you hit the brake, these would all work except for this one over here wasn't working. And then we tried to fix that, and then the blinkers, when you turned them on, it would like blink here, then here, then here, and then here. But this one worked fine. And then we kind of played around where we got to work, and then the corner lights wouldn't work. And so we're going to have to play around with the wiring on this car. As you notice, your Ohio plates are on the car. Your Kansas ones are still back at the shop and stuff. I didn't even have time because literally this thing was being rushed together. The alignment's done on it. She drives down the road perfect. I don't like the 2-speed power glide in this car. It just seems, they're just your typical 2-speed power glides. I did replace the new chrome water neck so that we're not leaking water there anymore. But I mean, she drives down, she just runs tight. I mean, if money's no object here, I would say go, a crate engine and a new like 350 turbo transmission or something like that. Now, obviously, money is a deal here, and to drive it around, I guess you're fine with the 2-speed power glide. I mean, obviously, these came out in 1967 with 2-speed power glides in them, and that's the way they operated. But I'm just not a real fan of the 2-speed power glide. Drag racers like them. I mean, they are bulletproof. They go, the guys wanted them in their dragsters and stuff back in the day. It's just really, really hard to tear one of these things up. But for drivability, I don't know. It just runs tight, just like you always want to go to another gear. So I'm not a fan of that because to me, this is not a hot rod. I always kind of make references like, oh, this is a sweet little hot rod or whatever. But it's really a car that is a cruiser. And really, to me, this is, a cruiser as you get it on the highway and you just fly down the road. And, but besides the oil, like I said, it just might have been because it's set so long. I mean, this car, I just saw like a deal on my Facebook deal like, oh, this is 3 years ago. And I was like, I've had this car a long time. She's done. We just got to do the little wiring stuff, but I don't know, man. We're going to have to talk about the engine and stuff because, I mean, if you're fine with it, that's, I'm cool with that. I just don't like giving something, that people's worked so hard for. And I know that, you didn't have to buy this engine or anything, but it still bothers me because it's just not to my satisfaction. And, I think the only way to get it to my satisfaction would be like rip it out, put a new motor in it, and I would, if you're going that route, transmission. But I know money is an issue, and but I just, like I said, it just kind of makes me sick, and we try doing everything. We thought this thing was going to be, obviously it's I tell you, it is better than the 327 that was in here, but it's up probably about 5 steps from that in my book. The guy that said he built this motor was a He's a scam artist. You know, he was family to Steven, and he scammed him. He did not rebuild this motor. So, you know, could I rebuild the motor? Absolutely. But when it's all said and done, you're probably looking about the same cost. And I always tell people, you know, if you're local to me and you have me build an engine and stuff, that's awesome, because if something goes wrong with that engine, you can bring it back to me. This car's going to go up to Canada. And for all the Supernatural fans or people that are sending us cars, and you're like, hey, I got an old engine in my, you know, what should I do? I say go crate motor, because you're going to get the warranty with them through GM or whoever, JAG, Summit, whoever you guys use. And if you have a problem with it, then you're going to get a deal with JAGs or whoever you buy it through. And they're going to stand behind it. If you had me build it, I'm not saying I'm not standing behind my product. It's just that you got to get the car all the way back to Kansas. So I always try to look out after that, you know, try to give you guys options and stuff like that. I mean, do you want me to build a motor? Sure, I'd love to build a motor, but things do happen, okay? So, and that brings me to another little point on my video here. I was brought aware to by some of my friends out there in the supernatural world that somebody has been talking bad about me again, and it's one of the people that I had issues with a long time ago. Obviously, I have forgot about these people, or at least this person, and I pay no attention to them. They were saying, oh, Rick's going to be all upset because I'm saying this about him, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm not. I don't care. Say what you want. Say that I screw people over. Say I build the shittiest cars on the planet. I don't care. I really don't. And for all you that want to stick up for me, I appreciate it. I really do. I love you all. But here's the thing. Don't. Just, it's kind of like, I always found out now that I'm getting older and probably wiser, that it's the best way to deal with somebody is not deal with them. Just let them, because when nobody pays attention to them, they just go away. And that's how come you're not going to see negative posts on my sites about that. Life's too short. I wish these people, literally, from the bottom of my heart, all the best. I hope they have a happy life. I don't think they do. That's my feelings. They might even be somewhat mental. I don't know. For some reason, they cannot let go of this, I guess you want to say, success that I'm doing, having. I don't know. I'm having fun. I get to build cars. I get to do props. But they just, for some reason, can't let it go. And that's all I kind of really want to say about it. One thing they were talking about was something about, oh, I'm selling my stuff, you know, these shirts and supernatural props, you know, they're just so expensive, and you can go buy the same shirts at this website for like $25, $40, and my shirt's $150. Okay, guys, I just want to point something out. If you go to the site and you look at the shirts, yes, they are Carhartt shirts that this company is selling, but they are not the same shirts. Okay, and there was also a comment like, you know, you don't have to buy the originals type stuff. You can just, you know, if you're just doing cosplay, I'm all for that. And you know what? I've got lots of shirts that I always used as a kind of a standby until I found the right one. And I have lots of those shirts. And you know what? If anybody's interested in that stuff, get a hold of me, because I will gladly sell you that stuff for $5 a shirt. It's just something I have no use for at this time in Junction. And actually, all the other stuff that I sold, it was all my original stuff. That I have no more supernatural clothing. That was my personal collection. And yeah, I put a high price on it because, one, it took me a long time to get and to find, and that was my only one. And I think I even posted on there, this is I don't want to sell it price. If somebody's willing to pay that price. Actually, on the shirt, it was the Demon shirt. It was $150, and I'm not sure what those things are. Probably like $40 new, Carhartt, $40, $50. I'm going to say, I don't know. But the thing is that you can't get them anymore. It took me a long time. She even posted a site where it's like, oh, I bought it on eBay for like 25 bucks or something. And here's the thing, this is just a true story. My original Demon shirt was a large. And when I bought it, I was like, ah, and then it just didn't fit right. You know, Carhartt's real baggy. And then finally somebody came along the line and says, I need a large and I have a medium, want to swap out. And I was like, yeah. And I paid, like I said, $110 at that time for my large. So I didn't even buy the medium. I traded, my large for it. So anyway, there's people that just like to talk out of their ass. And you know what? Let them live in their own world where I guess they're just miserable. I feel sorry for them. I do. And does it make me mad? Does it upset me, infuriate me? No. Seriously, it doesn't. I get to do this, guys. I get to build these. And they're saying I build these cars wrong and stuff. No. These cars are built as close as you can possibly get to the show. Do we do some modifications? Yes. And I always let people know what the original parts that are used on the car and what my recommendations are. One of the things that I talk about is, let me come over here, is the headers. Those headers right there are the exact same headers that are run on one of the show cars. Only theirs are the painted black version. These are the hot jet coated ones. This just looks better when this engine's all clean. You open the hood and you don't see rusty headers. So that's a recommendation. If you want to go with the black ones, hey, by all means, do it. What's the other thing? Oh, like on the disc brakes, I just like I run the same disc brakes they do, except for on the rotors. I like to upgrade and go with a drilled and slotted rotor. Once again, if you want the solids, that's your choice. I will always let people know what the original parts are. I just say for drivability or for better looks, I would go with this. You don't have to do that, people. And God, I hope I've never said that, oh, you have to do this to make it right. One of the other things that was always my custom touch was the front end, the springs cut down to give it a little bit more of the hot rod rake. Let me see if I can get back here to even kind of get that. But the front end's just dropped just a little bit. And that was my own personal touch, because on some of the original cars, the springs were worn out and the car had a little bit lower look to it. Now, when your springs are worn out, they're not going to ride all that great. And so to give it that look, we just cut a coil and a half. Then I've been told that, oh, I don't really build these cars, that I have other people building them. And here's the thing, guys. I left a job at doing sleep tech work for 17 years. I was a really, really good sleep tech. Not something I really enjoyed doing. It was a job. I looked at it, but it was also kind of a career. It let me do what I wanted in life, but I just wasn't happy, and so I let go of that to do this. So trust me, I'm building these cars. Now, am I doing the body and paint? Absolutely not. And this person kind of argues that, well, Rick, he's not even doing the body and paint. Well, I guess technically you could say I am now, because me and the shop are one. And so every car has to go through my inspection too. I have to come out and inspect and say, yes, this is right. This passes my, I don't know what you want to call it, but it has to have my seal of approval on it before it goes on down the line. And so I do mechanics. We got paint and body. I've got an upholsterer guy. I build the weapons boxes. We got a chrome shop. Here's the thing. Now, I know people that are in Supernatural fans are not really car people. So you guys probably don't watch a lot of the car shows, but if you did, one of the greatest out there is Chip Foose. I love Chip Foose to death. And Chip doesn't do all his own work, guys. I mean, he sends out his upholstery to get done. He usually has somebody spray his car. He'll do modifications and his spin on the car, but that's it, And if anybody thinks that I'm going down saying I'm the world's greatest car builder, they're delusional. But I am very, some people say I have an ego, and you know what, I'm going to agree with that. I do have a sense of arrogancy about me, and that is, nobody builds a more screen accurate replica than me and my shop. Nobody. I will put my cars up against anyone that wants to do that. Now, just because they don't come out of my shop, and if you want to do it out of your home and you've got that that ability to do that, oh man, I encourage you. I want people working on their own cars because I think mechanics and body work and restoring these cars is a lost art. And I always try to help people. I will tell you what parts to use and how to install something. I've never said no on any of that. And but like I said, this person just, you know, they want to try to rile me up, and it doesn't. I just want to set the record straight. I mean, let them talk about me. Like I said, they mentioned me. I never mentioned them. And on their Facebook page, I guess I'm like the hot topic. And now, this was even funny, that if you mention my name or everything supernatural, you automatically get banned. I'm like, man, like I'm almost like rock star status, you know? I guess like I'm like the bad boy of supernatural. But then this person keeps referring to me as God or Chuck. And I thought, man, I'm God in supernatural? I mean, I surpass supernatural? That's pretty heavy, man. So once again, I laughed. A lot of people were sending me Facebook message, hey, this person's talking bad about you. I don't care. I don't care. And I just wanted you guys to know the reason that I am mentioning this is because I don't care. And I don't want you to care about it. I appreciate you guys. I guess you guys are now my minions. You guys have all been brainwashed by me because what was the thing I was told? I'm like Demon Dean. I'm two-faced. And hey, whatever floats their boat, okay? Let them have their moment of happiness. It does not affect me. I've gotten more emails to build cars than, guys, we are so busy, so busy. It's not even funny. And the only reason I'm up here because of this party and stuff, and then I've got some other family matters to take care of. But my boys at the shop are still hammering away on body work and stuff. And next week I fly out. Like, you guys are probably wondering, Rick, do you ever work? I really do. And I should have did the video the other night when I was there at 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, working on this car. But next week I'm going to be in Portland, actually Eugene, Oregon. I'm going to be there with my good buddy Super Dave. I'm going to be there with Jeff Budnick, and I'm going to be there with one of the car wranglers. He's a great guy. His name for the show, his name's Frank. And I hope you guys get the chance, the opportunity to come down to Eugene. It's a great little Comic-Con, and we'd love to sit there and talk to you. We'll probably have a beer.